Republican state legislatures across the country are responding to the demonstrations over George Floyd's murder with punitive new measures intended to discourage protests altogether. In the 2021 legislative session, lawmakers in 34 states have introduced more than 80 anti-protest bills, the vast majority of them drafted by Republicans. And so far, 4 Republican governors have signed the measures into law, including in the state of Florida. And if it wasn't already clear that this is a direct response to the Black Lives Matter protests, Governor Ron DeSantis actually cited the Derek Chauvin trial when he enacted what he's calling an anti-rioting law. As NPR reports, the law creates a new crime called mob intimidation, and it requires that anyone arrested at a protest be denied bail until their first court appearance, likely making for overnight jail stays. In other words, it would punish anyone at a peaceful protest who might be swept up alongside a minority of bad actors. Unbelievably, that law also grants civil immunity to drivers who run their cars through protesters if those protesters are blocking roads. Worse yet, a new law signed just yesterday in Oklahoma grants criminal immunity to motorists if they, quote, unintentionally injure or kill protesters on roadways. It comes after the driver of a pickup truck did exactly that on a highway in Tulsa last May, leaving one protester paralyzed after he fell from an overpass. These are the kinds of wacky provisions that some critics say might have protected the neo-Nazi who was convicted of murdering Heather Heyer with his vehicle in Charlottesville. Likewise, in Kentucky, the fierce guardians of the Second Amendment are taking aim at the First. The Republican state Senate there wanted to make it a crime to insult or taunt a police officer with offensive or derisive words or gestures. And the bill's sponsor may reintroduce that legislation this session. These are stunning examples of how Republicans think that they can legislate away your First Amendment right to protest. It's the same strategy that they've used on voting rights. When they lose elections, they vote to make it hard. They want to make it harder to vote. And joining me now is Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani and Brittany Packnett Cunningham, MSNBC contributor and host of the Undistracted podcast. And Representative Eskamani, in Florida, you had a sheriff. DeSantis did the signing ceremony with a Polk County sheriff named Grady Judd. And this was the warning that he issued. This is cut 3 from my producers.
This is a riot. And this will get you locked up before quick in the state of Florida. Pay attention. We've got new law. And we're going to use it if you make us.
And I doubt he was showing a picture of the January 6th MAGA insurrection, which was the siege of the Capitol. I'm sure he doesn't think that was a riot. The Washington Post points out that now in Florida, taking down a monument, like if you take down a Confederate monument, will get you 15 years in prison, which is the same sanction as rape. Your thoughts?
It's disgusting how we're protecting Confederate monuments more than we're protecting everyday people here in Florida. And the fact that these sheriffs were given such a platform to continue to instill fear in people across this state on a law designed to suppress our First Amendment rights is incredibly offensive. And I was proud to vote no on this bill.
Brittany, this feels like it's directed at y'all. This is directed at Black Lives Matter. It feels so George Wallace that I'm shocked that George Wallace didn't actually think of it back when he was governor of Alabama.
Oh, this is straight out of the Jim Crow textbook. And let's contextualize Jim Crow, shall we? When Black people got more free, there were new laws created to make us less free. This is exactly what is happening right now. What this actually shows me, Joy, is that white supremacy is scared to death of us, and it absolutely should be. This is what you do when you cannot win fair and square. You suppress votes and you suppress voice. So we have to pay attention here because the GOP plays the long game and they play the expansive game. They plan far in advance. They gerrymander states so that they can control state houses, and then they use all of that power to maintain their power and suppress us from multiple angles. So then they make it illegal to engage in the 2 most democratic practices you've got in this country, and they make sure to target Black folks when they do it. That way, that among other things, you can leverage the police that you've militarized to protect your systems and to continue to terrorize us. So it's our job to keep them on the ropes because this is what desperation looks like, and I want them to stay desperate. They know how powerful we are. That's why we're seeing this.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.